Hello and welcome. I'm going to be doing a gouache painting of a Jack Russell Terrier. I love doing these mini types of paintings because it only takes like 45 minutes. I'm going to be using the Monte Marte brand of gouache, and usually I have like a mixing chart, but this time, since there's just so many colors in it, I did like a chart with it all laid out. But usually it would look like this with the colors mixed. You can see it would be mixed in equal parts, and I'd be able to follow it and find the color I'm looking for. Whenever I start a painting or a drawing or anything that involves color really, I like to analyze the reference photo. And the reference photo I'm using today is by Victor Grabarsk. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he's on Unsplash. I'll have him linked in the description. I will mainly be using Prussian blue and this burnt sienna to create the dark color, since they're complementary colors and they desaturate each other, and it's just perfect for a really dark value, which will work for the black in here and create a nice bluey black, which is great for shadows. I always like to lay down the darkest value when I'm starting a painting, because it kind of just grounds the painting in a way that makes it easier to see the lighter colors, because according to color theory, like when a darker color is placed next to a lighter color, it can change the way it looks or make it look brighter, like in contrast, right? So that's why I just find it easier, and that's how I started out, or how I have been starting out these past few paintings. But I didn't always do that before, and I'd find my paintings would look rather flat. There would be a lot of contrast. It would be very hard to get that contrast back. It's definitely what I'd call the ugly phase of the painting. It's very hard to see what it's going to look like once it's finished, but I've added like this, I guess, green highlight for the lighter colors on it, but I later changed that. Like, I just use it as a base for right now, but it's very hard to see what it's gonna look like once it's finished, and that's what I loved about doing this YouTube video, was that I was able to look through all the footage and see like the evolution of the painting, and as it just changed, it's very neat to see, because when I first started this I was freaking out. I'm like, oh, it looks so weird, I'm not sure. Like, you just gotta keep going. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to see. Whenever I have trouble or I'm just bored of painting in one area, I just kind of move to a different area. So over here I was just having a bit of trouble figuring out how to paint the dog's head, or like the black parts of it, and how to make it look shiny. I just wasn't sure how everything was going, and I just moved on to the chest fur of the dog. And even though it's white, there's lots of colors in it. There's like this pinky color under the mouth, like the muzzle, I guess. And it's very interesting to see all these different colors, actually, I find. That's what I love about white, is that there's just so many colors in white. Like, there's blues, and there's greens, and there's basically any color can be found in white, and it can be used to create a white. It's really neat, as long as like the warm colors and the cool colors are correct. Cool colors and shadows, and warm colors for highlights. It can really create a nice looking white. With regained confidence now, I'm back at the muzzle with like, I think I used a bit of yellow ochre mixed with an orange and a tiny bit of blue just to work for the shadows of the muzzle. I wasn't exactly sure what to do, but I was pretty confident in the colors I had chosen, because I know like orange is a complementary color with blue, so they'll complement each other. It'll just make that muzzle stand out. Because I learned, I think in an art course I took a while back, that warm colors generally stand forward and cool colors recede, so that's why it's so important for like, at least the muzzle of the dog, for it to be a warm color, because then it looks like it's actually coming towards you. But since I'm doing the shadows, I added a bit of blue, and now it's a bit of a cooler color just to do the shadows. Now I'm just working on like the I guess, the rest of the face, you know, adding touch-ups to the side of the head and working around the eyes, but yeah, I haven't done them yet. Sometimes I save them for last if I get nervous about it, because since they're like the focal point of the drawing, and other times I'll do them first, but since like I want them to be the focal point, it's important that they turn out nicely. So yeah. Here I've kind of jumped ahead, and I've already filled in the ears and stuff. I think I lost a bit of footage for this part, so that's why I wasn't able to film it. But the dog looks a lot more put together now. So that's nice. I always love it when it starts to get better and it's easier to look at from the beginning stage. I chose to do the Jack Russell Terrier because there's something so sweet about its eyes in this reference photo that I had, but I love the way Jack Russell Terriers look with like the little orange eyebrows they have. I thought that was adorable. And I've heard they're very hyperactive dogs, so it's definitely not a dog I would want, but like definitely a little crazy sometimes. I've yet to hear about a calm Jack Russell Terrier. This is a very loose painting. It's kind of the look I was going for. I'm using this flat brush that's made out of synthetic hair, so it's good for gouache, and I just find it's challenging to do details with a brush like this, especially a painting this size, so it forces me to work loosely, which is nice. I don't mind working loose. I like the effect after, especially when I add in the background. It cleans up the edges and it really ties the whole painting together. I apologize if the audio is choppy or anything like that. I haven't really recorded much before except for homework assignments, and I had to read a script and stuff, but I want this to be a bit more unscripted because, I don't know, I thought it would be nice and it's less work for me. And I always watch like draw with me videos while I draw because I find it's fun and it makes me feel like I'm not drawing alone. Although sometimes I just, like, if I'm really focusing on a piece, I'd rather have nothing on and I'll just put all my focus into it, which is really nice. I mainly just watch like drawing with waffles, and there's also this other artist I just found who works in gouache and makes really pretty art called Hand Rib Art, and it's very pretty, like just the faces that she's able to create with gouache, and it's used much like almost like it's an oil medium, but it's gouache, so that's the nice part. It's just really neat to see and it's inspiring, so I was like, oh, I should give it a try. I should try to do a bit with gouache, and I've always been curious about gouache. Well, not always, but I saw a video about it and then that piqued my curiosity, and sometimes I'll listen to music while I draw, but I've kind of stopped that because, I don't know, I found it too distracting. Like, I'll get too caught up in the music and then I'll be listening to it too hard. What I'm drawing will just turn, like, it won't work out nicely. I find lo-fi can work nicely. Like, it doesn't have any words in it, so less focus for me, but still I don't really listen to lo-fi much while drawing. I used to a lot, but not anymore. It's neat to see how my drawing, or I guess painting process has changed, especially since I was younger. I used to just always listen to the radio while drawing or painting or anything like that, but not anymore. I'm really loving this darker pink I used for the ears. I just love how it pops and stands out, and I think it works nicely with the darker colors of the painting, or I guess the colder colors. It's just this nice cold pink, so it's a bit more purpley. And it's just nice to see, like, at this stage of the painting, everything's coming together more. The eyes are coming in, and once I get the background in, it pulls those darker values back, and it just makes it look all put together and nice. That's probably the most satisfying part about painting for me, is just the end result and seeing it all come together. It's also so shocking for me to see, like, how a sketch can just come to life with this paint. Like, especially, again, watching through this footage and seeing it's just like this little sketch, but then with all the color it turns into a dog. it's very gratifying. I definitely recommend trying to paint, or at least learning to. I love painting because I can control color to whatever I want it to be. It's very easy for me to mix colors, I find, after all the practice I've had with it, and find the colors that I want. Whereas like if I'm with pencils or anything else, I feel restricted, like I can't make the colors I want, even though I know I can blend. I love the feeling of mixing paint and putting it down and getting the colors and blending easily. It just makes for a nice, fast, satisfying process. Here I am just pulling off the tape and it's finally finished. It's next to another dog I painted. I'm hoping to fill up this page with 6 dogs in total. Thanks for joining along this process with me, and I hope to have another video out next week.